Looking at the top edge rushers in the draft, Kwity Paye, #1 out of Michigan, Azeez Ojulari, #2 out of Georgia. Down year, I guess you could say, for pass rushers in the draft, or at least that's how we think it's going to all unfold, though it is a great year for pass rushing free agents, so it kind of evens out. Ryan, how about #1, Kwity Paye, 17th in your latest mock draft?
Yep, Chris, got him going to the Raiders. They need help everywhere on defense. And you're right, this edge rush class doesn't blow you away upon first glance. There is no Chase Young. But as we've been saying throughout this segment here, you can find guys that don't come in to the NFL as high prospects, guys like Shaq Barrett, who end up being really good. Kwity Paye is an amazing athlete who's just scratching the surface on his abilities, and I think we're going to see that in year 2, year 3. We heard B-Mac talk about Bud Dupree. He was much the same way, insane athlete coming out of Kentucky. It took him a few years to get acclimated, and now he's got to get paid. I think Kwity Paye is a guy who is only going to get better as he learns the game. The athleticism is there, the size is there, and once he sort of understands how this all comes together, I think he has a chance to be special.
Ryan, do you think that the first edge rusher is going to be taken outside the top 10, the top 15 maybe even?
Definitely the top 10. I think the 15 range is where things get interesting. The Patriots are there. They need help along the edge. If they don't get a quarterback or a wide receiver, it'll be interesting to even, Chris, to see who goes first. I like Kwity Paye. Others like different players like Azeez Ojulari, who we'll talk about, Jaelan Phillips, who we'll talk about. So it also depends on the team selecting and how they view their draft boards as the first 10 to 15 picks unfold.
Yeah, B-Mac, what do you think of Azeez Ojulari?
I love him. I love his ability to be physical at the point of attack. He gave, 8.5 sacks last year, over 12 tackles for loss, to say the least. But the most important thing that I like about him, his ability to set the edge. He's been coached the right way there in Athens. And when it comes to run support, you do not want to run the football his direction. He will set the edge and he will make sure he contains the football the right way. He's a physical defender. He does a great job in just being relentless and putting pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. He's a do-it-all type of player, but I think the best is yet to come with him. He has so much more he can give to a defense, and he's going to be a name that's going to shoot up draft charts, in my opinion, based on the hot tape that he's been able to display there in Athens, not to mention his workouts and things of that nature.
All right, at #3, B-Mac, we'll stick with you on Jaelan Phillips. Is there a concern at all for someone who retired a couple of years ago, stepped away in 2018 because of injury, and then decided to come back? I know he came back really strong, but is there at all a worry that, man, one thing happens to him, he might walk away?
Not necessarily. I don't think so, because I think he understands that he was born to be a pass rusher. He just has the it factor. When you look at his size, you look at his measurements, I mean, he's a very, very athletic guy. I like how he plays with a nice shoulder bend when he's turning that corner on any opposing tackle that he's going against. He had 76 sacks last year. And he kind of made people forget about Gregory Rousseau there in Miami, with him wearing that number 15 that Greg wore a year before, in 2019, to say the least. 10.5 sacks. He also caught the ball well. Two interceptions. So he is a nice player, do-it-all player. I think he will go in the first round as well. I love his length, his long arms. That's a great attribute to have when you talk about being a pass rusher, because with the length of his arms, he's able to keep those tackles off of his body from getting into his breastplate and things like that. So I don't have any concerns with him maybe walking away. I think he's hit that light switch. The love of the game is clearly there, because we saw him play with a lot of passion last year in Coral Gables.
And we're going to get to Rousseau, who's also ranked among the edge rushers in the draft as well. But Ryan, at #4, how about Jayson Oweh? Not a ton of experience, but a lot of upside.
Not a ton of experience, 0 sacks, which gets your attention last season at Penn State. I go on Baltimore radio every week, and I had him going to the Ravens, and they were laughing that a Steelers fan would give the Ravens an edge rusher who didn't get any sacks. But you're exactly right with the potential, and that's been the theme of these edge rushers. He is 6'2", 6'3". He's about 255. He has not been playing football very long, only since high school. And you talk to scouts, and they say he has no idea how good he is going to be. And that's what you see when you watch him play. You see those glimpses of athleticism, that first step, the better athlete on the field than everyone else he's going up against, except teammate Micah Parsons, who opted out this year. And I've talked to folks who think he's going to be better than Yetur Gross-Matos, who played at Penn State in 2019, was a second-round pick for the Panthers. It just might take some time, and that's again the recurring theme with this edge class. But I think Jayson Oweh, given has athletic traits, his physicality and his potential for growth makes him an interesting prospect at the end of round 1.
All right, and B-Mac, you mentioned Rousseau, who sat out last season, but in 2019, the last time he was out there on the field, I mean, he was right up there with Chase Young.
Listen, Chris, I don't even want to think about what he did in 2019, especially against my beloved Florida State Seminoles. He was a nightmare, right? Unbelievable season in 2019. 15.5 sacks, 19.5 tackle for loss. But he's not as refined as some of the other pass rushers we've talked about and we've highlighted. He primarily played wide receiver and safety in high school. He only has one legit year of film rushing the passer, which was 2019. In 2018, he only played a few ball games. He was injured with an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken. 2020, he opted out. So he's not as refined, but the upside is there. I mean, he has all the measurables. He plays with the energy you like to see from a defensive lineman, and he just needs to continue to develop and be coached the right way. And I think because of that, he is such an intriguing prospect. There's going to be a team that's going to take a chance on him. I think they might need to exercise patience because he's a guy that he's not as developed as some of the other guys like I mentioned. But boy, when he hits that light switch, Myles Garrett 2.0.
Wow. All right, we'll just leave it right there. That's, whoa, Myles Garrett 2.0. We got ranked number 5 right now in our prospect edge rusher rankings. Stay right there, guys. Ryan Wilson and Bryant McFadden going to be right back. Might get some inside info from B-Mac on his podcast brother, Patrick Peterson. Free agent now. Is he going to go somewhere else? What's left?
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.